Hey guys, we are Sean and Christy. This is Long Honeymoon, and today we have a video for beginners. Essential or must-have RV gear that you're gonna wanna have when you first pick up your RV.
And we're just talking the absolute basics. We're not talking about all the gadgets and doodads that you can trick it out with down the road. We're just saying just to be able to get home or get to your first campground and have the absolute basic essentials.
And by the way, shopping from our Amazon store supports our little show here on the internets. First up, wheel chocks. Wheel chocks are really an essential piece of safety gear, especially if you have some form of towable, because towables have been known to roll when they are unhitched from their tow vehicle. And when they roll, people can get hurt. Egos could be damaged.
So here we have two different types of wheel chock. This is the most common kind, just a big old chunk of rubber. You're gonna want to put it right up next to your tire, snug and tight, before you remove your towable from the tow vehicle. And here we have a different type of chock. These go in between the tires. These are really nice.
Any wheel chock is better than no wheel chock.
Item number 2, leveling blocks. A lot of times if your rig is not level, your refrigerator will not work properly.
Also, if your rig is not level, you can have a miserable time camping.
Especially if your bed is way unlevel. There's nothing worse than sleeping in a bed that's like
wonky doodle.
Wonky doodle. Yeah, good word. These come in a set of about 10 and a little travel bag. As you can tell, ours are very old and faded, but they still do the job.
Instead of carrying leveling blocks, some people choose to carry blocks of wood that have been cut for this job. There's nothing wrong with using a block of wood, but I think these do have certain advantages. For example, they don't absorb water and you can stack them together. They're made to be stackable, and we've gotten a nice long life out of these. We've had these for more than a decade. I think they used to be a bright orange color. Now they're sort of creamsicle.
Next, tow mirrors or mirror extensions for your tow vehicle. Again, this is a very important safety feature that every tow vehicle should have.
Our truck came equipped with tow mirrors, but we later upgraded to a newer style of tow mirror because it had a larger spherical mirror on the bottom. I think it's about 60% larger surface area. Really enhanced our view of what's to the side of our rig when we're towing down the highway. We always, of course, extend our tow mirrors before we tow. All you guys with new trucks probably have fancy motors to extend and retract your tow mirrors. We have muscle power.
Next item is oh so exciting. It's the sewer hose.
You know, there is nothing that gets me more excited than a new sewer hose or other sewer accessory. Tonight, I have a pair. I have a premium 10. What's so funny?
Actually, it's a very important piece of equipment because I guarantee you're gonna fill up your tanks a lot faster than you think you will on your first little outing, and you wanna make sure you've got a way to empty them. So make sure you buy yourself a nice quality sewer hose.
Will it work? Yeah. Don't skimp on the sewer hose because you're probably going to be using it for a very long time. After you use them a few times, you really don't want to play with them on your couch. Next up, freshwater hose, also known as the drinking water hose.
So here we have our drinking water hose. This is only for city water.
I think you want it to be at least 25 feet long. Some people will go to 50 feet because every campsite is different and you can never really predict how much hose you're going to need.
Yeah, and make sure you don't just buy any old garden hose. Make sure it is specifically drinking water safe. Next item might sound like it's kind of an optional item, but in our experience, it's really helpful. It's a water filter. You attach it to your drinking hose and it filters all the water before it goes into your RV.
We use one of these disposable RV water filters. They claim that these filters last for an entire camping season, however that is defined. I'm assuming that means 3 months. So we actually filter our water here at the original source, and then we filter it second time inside our Airstream.
If you're filling up water at your house, it's probably safe, but sometimes if you stop at, a rest stop that has free water, or a state park or something, or somewhere that has well water, you just never know. So a water filter is just highly recommended.
While we're talking about water, you really need a water pressure regulator. Your RV may have one already built in, so you need to figure out whether that's the case. I mean, with our unit, for example, there's a water pressure regulator built into the unit.
It's just a really small device that you put between the city water and your water hose, regulating the pressure of the water that's going into your RV. This one is preset at 45 PSI.
This protects the RV's pipes from high water pressure. Next up, a 15 to 30 amp adapter.
Obviously, this is if you have a rig that uses a 30 amp connection.
If you're gonna plug your RV up to your house electricity, you're probably gonna want one of these. Very simple. Connects your RV 30 amp to a 15 amp. Voila, we got power. So here we have a 50 amp to 30 amp Dogbone, nicknamed because apparently it looks sort of like a dog bone.
There are some campgrounds in this world that have only 50 amp power, and some others that have only 30 amp power.
Or it might be that the only sites available at the time when you are there, they're not 50 amp or they're not 30 amp. So the only way you're going to get to stay there is if you have the converter.
What this allows us to do is to plug up to 50 amp power and power our 30 amp rig. You're absolutely going to want one of these. You may not often need to use it, but when you need it, it's a lifesaver. So there's your Dogbone. And I guess you 50 amp people might want a 30 to 50 amp Dogbone.
Yeah, and sometimes we've even used these in campsites where they have a 50 amp connection and a 30 amp connection, and you get there and you get backed into your site and everything's perfect, and then you go to plug into the 30 amp and it's dead.
Woof woof.
And while we're talking power, what about surge protectors, you ask?
So here we have our surge protector of choice. This is the EMS PT30X 30 amp surge protector, and we do have a little locking bracket and basically a bicycle lock attached to it.
Whether or not a surge protector for your RV is really necessary, we will leave up to you. We do have a video that we've done about surge protectors. A lot of people would say that they are essential equipment, especially those people who suffered having their appliances fried by power surges.
That would be terrible if you just bought your RV.
Again, you sort of get what you pay for. The cheaper ones, we've had some problem with.
So here we have a pretty cheap surge protector. Actually, they call it a circuit analyzer. And it basically overheated and melted there. Some of the nicer surge protectors are unfortunately pretty expensive. We're talking $200 to $300, but they are protecting all of the appliances and the electrical system of your RV.
Next.
Walkie Talkies.
Why do we recommend walkie talkies? Because often the most scenic campsites have the worst cellular connection. We've been in a lot of national park situations where our cell service was garbage. We found walkie talkies to be very useful whenever backing up our travel trailer, so it's just part of our routine. The first thing we do when we're backing up is break out the walkie talkies. We each take one. Another useful application for walkie talkies is backcountry hiking. You can take these with you on any hike in bear country and throw them at any grizzlies you may see.
Next, tire pressure gauge.
Now, we also carry a little air compressor. This one's by Campbell Hausfield, so we can top off our tire pressures anytime we're traveling around on the road. You can get some really nice air compressors. A lot of you guys like to get the nice Viair kits. At the very least, you need a tire pressure gauge because tires are a common source of problem when people are traveling, and quite often Severely underinflated tires can lead to an accident.
And last on our list for now is a hitch lock.
So this is our hitch lock. It's a really robust, tough piece of metal. And this was the first hitch lock here that we started out with. This costs about $7. This cost a couple $100. So there is a difference between the two. Now this little guy just fits right up here on top of the tongue and got a key lock to lock it. Now this little lock is not going to stop a determined thief. However, it might deter a crime of opportunity. It might make your RV look a little bit less attractive.
We hear from a lot of people that have actually had their towable RVs stolen from right next to their house. I mean, parked in their driveway. So not only have we mentioned the hitch lock, but we also mentioned adding a wheel lock. Again, it probably won't deter a super determined thief, but it might turn away a thief that doesn't have the time to mess with both a hitch lock and a wheel lock.
Sorry, you newbies out there, there was a list of essential gear to bring with you in your RV on your first trip. What did we miss? You veteran campers out there, in hearing this list, you probably thought of a few things that we did not. Post a comment, let us know what you consider to be must-have essential gear for new RV owners. All right, until next time, we're Sean and Christy. This is Long Long Honeymoon, which we like to call Lo-Lo-Ho.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family so they can become part of Lo-Lo-Ho Nation. If you haven't yet, please click that subscribe button down below. It means so much to us to have you join Lo-Lo-Ho Nation. And until next time, what do we say?
Lo-Lo.
Lo-Lo-Ho.
If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you disliked it, give it a thumbs down. Feel free to leave a comment. And of course, don't forget to subscribe.